Hey, I'm Kyle Redding, and I work with technology startups across Australia and New Zealand in our AWS Global Startup Program. We put together a video today to give you guys a recap on what happened at reInvent 2021. We know not everyone's had a chance to check it out, so we brought along a couple unique friends to share the story. Let me introduce you to Tony Trin, our partner solution architect, to kick things off for you.
Thanks, Cal, for the warm introduction, and thanks everyone for listening in. I've been working with a fantastic digital human team from UneeQ to curate a list for new services or features from reInvent 2021, which we think are the most beneficial for you, our audiences today. If there's any launches that we don't mention but very important to you, let us know and we'll be more than happy to include it. Now, without further ado, let's hear from Cleo first on what news in store for developer and software engineers.
Sure, Tony. It's my pleasure to share with the audiences a selective summary of reInvent 2021. Firstly, let's talk about some great AWS launches that will likely excite developers across front-end, mobile, and web applications. As you may already know, the AWS Software Development Kits, or SDKs, provide a language wrapper for APIs to AWS services. Existing SDKs target JavaScript, Python, PHP, .NET, Ruby, Java, Go, Node.js, and C++. Now, 3 more were added for Swift, Kotlin, and Rust, which makes it easy for developers to call AWS services using idiomatic APIs from the 3 languages. Besides, AWS Cloud Development Kit, or CDK v2, has made great improvements over v1 to accelerate cloud onboarding and fasten development process. For example, AWS CDK version 2 consolidates the AWS construct library into a single package called AWS CDK lib. If you write your own CDK construct libraries, you only need to take a minimum dependency on this AWS CDK lib package and let library consumers choose which exact AWS CDK version to use. Furthermore, AWS CDK v2 only includes stable APIs, which comply with semantic versioning, SEMVer, so you can confidently update to new minor versions. Other useful features, such as unit testing in all languages and disablement of automatic stack rollbacks, also became available in CDK v2. On a separate note, if you want to refactor .NET applications into independent services, AWS Microservice Extractor for .NET can help analyze source code and runtime metrics to create a visual representation of your application and its dependencies. Microservices Extractor for .NET assists in code refactoring and extracting the code base into separate code projects that teams can develop, build, and operate independently to improve agility, uptime, and scalability. Those are some of the highlights for presentation and application tiers. Let's see what we have in store for database and storage this year. If you ever wonder how you can solve the issue of RDS overutilization or misbehavior of certain SQL queries, look no further. DevOps Guru for RDS automatically detects relational database-related operational issues and recommend remediating actions. It enables developers to resolve those issues in minutes rather than days. DevOps Guru for RDS works by leveraging machine learning models informed by years of experience operating thousands of databases at scale for Amazon.com, and it is available for Amazon Aurora with PostgreSQL compatibility and MySQL compatibility today, with support for additional Amazon RDS engines coming in 2022. On the other hand, if you want to accelerate database migration planning, you can use AWS DMS Fleet Advisor, a free capability of AWS DMS to automate inventory and receive tailored migration advice. Whilst doing inventory, Fleet Advisor takes notes of the key information that is needed when planning a migration, including database metadata, for example, version and size and usage metrics like queries per second and input-output operations per second. It then enables you to export your customized migration plan into a CSV file so that you can quickly and easily share with stakeholders the simplest migration path for your workload and achieve alignment. Fleet Advisor discovers and analyzes the same source and target databases as AWS DMS. For a full list of all potential sources and targets, please refer to the AWS DMS user guide. And there you have it. Thanks again, Kyle and Tony, for giving me the opportunity to share all of this very cool news. I am super excited about these fantastic tools for our software and development engineers out there in AWS land. I hope to see you all again very soon.
Wow, that was super. Thanks a lot, Cleo. I'm sure developer and software engineer in our audience would love to try out the services and feature that you just shared. But now let's get on with analytic and machine learning. Max, would you do the honor, please?
My pleasure. We'll start with data and analytics, then round it up with some exciting bits for ML and AI. First of all, did you know that you can now use Kinesis Data Stream on demand? This new capacity mode simplifies streaming data by automating scaling, fault tolerance, and removing capacity management altogether. It's good for any workload, but particularly useful for the new and unpredictable ones. Similarly, you can use Amazon Redshift Serverless, a newly launched feature, when it is difficult to predict compute needs such as variable workloads, periodic workloads with idle time, and steady-state workloads with spikes. This approach is also a good fit for ad hoc analytics that need to get started quickly and for test and development environments. On a separate note, you now have 2 new ways to find and subscribe or license a dataset on AWS. They are AWS Data Exchange or ADX for Redshift and APIs. ADX for APIs makes it easy to access data, explore consistent API documentation, utilize AWS-generated SDKs to make API calls, and leverage AWS native authentication and governance. These features simplify developer and IT administrator workflows, in addition to reducing upfront subscriber costs relative to monthly data file subscriptions. Data providers can now reach millions of AWS customers that consume API-based data by adding their APIs to the AWS Data Exchange catalog and easily manage subscriber authentication, granular pricing rules, and automated metered billing. As a data provider on ADX for Redshift, you now have a new way to license your data and make it available to your customers. As a subscriber, you can directly use data from providers without any further processing and no need for an extract transform load (ETL) process. Because you don't have to do any processing, the data is always current and can be used directly in your Amazon Redshift queries. AWS Data Exchange for Amazon Redshift takes care of managing all entitlements and payments for you, with all charges billed to your AWS account. Phew! That was some of the highlight launches for data analytics. Our next stop will be machine learning and AI services. As you may already know, Amazon SageMaker is a service with many features and capabilities. We typically divide these capabilities into 4 categories: data preparation, model creating, training plus tuning, deployment and management, or hosting, which address every stage of a machine learning model's lifecycle. With that in mind, Amazon SageMaker Canvas was launched in reInvent 2021 to make it easy for business analysts and domain experts to generate highly accurate ML predictions on their own without any machine learning experience. Using SageMaker Canvas, users can easily access and import data from the cloud and on-premises data sources and quickly combine and cleanse data via an easy-to-use visual interface. From there, Canvas takes care of all the feature engineering, model selection, training, and optimization, and provides a fully explainable machine learning model automatically using AWS's AutoML innovations. And then users can either quickly get their predictions in the same UI so that they make smart decisions quickly, or they can actually share all the code Canvas produced with their data scientists for them to inspect it and provide feedback, or to actually bring it to production using Sage MLOps workflows. Lastly, but certainly not least, Canvas has usage-based pricing, which allows you to pay only for what you use, without any upfront fees or licensing. Our customers have told us that this can help them radically reduce their total cost of ownership of no-code ML tools, and thus scale their adoption across more users. Apart from Canvas, AWS launched several other features within the Amazon SageMaker ecosystem to save cost and ease ML deployments, which may benefit you. For instance, the new Amazon SageMaker Training Compiler accelerates training by up to 50% through graph and kernel level optimizations that make more efficient use of GPU. It's integrated with the versions of TensorFlow and PyTorch in SageMaker, so that you can speed up training in these popular frameworks with minimal code changes. On top of that, SageMaker Inference Recommender reduces the time to deploy from weeks to hours by automatically recommending the ideal compute instance configurations such as instance count, container parameters, and model optimizations to deploy your machine learning models. Besides, you can use SageMaker Inference Recommender to optimize price performance of your inference workload by running a load test across a range of compute instance types you select. Load testing is fully managed, so you don't need to manage any testing infrastructure. You can review the benchmark results in SageMaker Studio and evaluate the trade-offs between different configuration settings, including latency, throughput, cost, CPU and GPU usage, and memory. For use cases with intermittent inference requests, like long idle periods between inference requests, SageMaker's serverless inference automatically provisions, scales, and turns off compute capacity based on the number of inference requests. SageMaker's serverless inference automatically removes the need to manage complex scaling workflows by ensuring the exact amount of resources are available for inference to save time and money. For all other use cases, you can use autoscaling in SageMaker policies to elastically scale the underlying compute resources to accommodate fluctuations in inference requests while reducing cost. And that's all I have for you today. Quite the mouthful, I know. The SageMaker evolutions are super close to my AI heart, so I love seeing these progressions. Thanks again for your time. I hope to see you all soon.
My goodness, I'm blown away. SageMaker Studio keeps getting more and more awesome every time I look at it. Thanks a lot, Max. Now, let's hear from our friend Sophie about AWS' latest innovation on compute, network, and sustainability.
Thanks, Tony. It's great to be able to help out today. There is some really exciting news that I would love to share with you and the audience. First cab off the rank, we have AWS Graviton 3, the next-generation ARM processor for cost and energy efficiency. Graviton 3 is 3 times faster for ML, which is amazing. It's also twice as fast for most workloads, and it's 25% cheaper. My favorite thing of all is that all of this additional speed uses 60% less energy. Amazon EC2 C7G instances, powered by Graviton 3, are available in preview. These instances will provide the best price performance in Amazon EC2 for compute-intensive workloads such as high-performance computing, gaming, video encoding, and CPU-based machine learning inference. C7G instances are the first in the cloud to feature the cutting-edge DDR5 memory technology, which provides 50% more bandwidth compared to DDR4 memory. On top of that, they provide 20% higher networking bandwidth compared to previous generation C6G instances, which are based on the AWS Graviton 2 processors. I don't know about you, Tony, but processing power increases like this give me virtual goosebumps. Another service which I want to bring to your attention is Carpenter, a Kubernetes cluster autoscaler. If you want to run your own cluster, but also want the autoscaling capability, like that of Amazon's Elastic Kubernetes service, Carpenter is an open-source node provisioning project built for Kubernetes. Adding Carpenter to a Kubernetes cluster can dramatically improve the efficiency and cost of running workloads on that cluster. Carpenter is tightly integrated with Kubernetes features to make sure that the right types and amounts of compute resources are available to pods as they are needed. Under the hood, Carpenter launches right-sized EC2 instances in response to changing application load in under a minute. These EC2 instances are based on the specific needs of a cluster's workloads, such as compute, storage, acceleration, and scheduling requirements. Today, EKS supports clusters using Carpenter on AWS, although Carpenter is designed to work with any conformant Kubernetes cluster. Now let's switch gear to networking and see what we've got. Well, the launch of AWS Cloud WAN, or Wide Area Networking, enables you to build, manage, and run global wide area networks for multi-site, multi-region, and multi-VPC. With this new service, you use a central dashboard and network policies to create a global network that spans multiple locations and networks, cloud or on-prem, effectively eliminating the need to configure and manage different networks individually using different technologies. Your network policies can be used to specify which of your Amazon virtual private clouds and on-premises locations you wish to connect through AWS VPN or third-party software-defined WAN and SD-WAN products. The Cloud One Central Dashboard will generate a complete view of the network to monitor network health, security, and performance. Cloud One automatically creates a global network across AWS regions using Border Gateway Protocol so you can easily exchange routes around the world. Cloud One is available in public preview within 10 AWS regions, including 4 APAC regions. To get started, you can visit the Cloud One console. And we are now at the last section, sustainability. In reInvent 2021, AWS introduced a new sustainability pillar to help organizations learn, measure, and improve their workloads using environmental best practices for cloud computing. Similar to the other pillars, the sustainability pillar contains questions aimed at evaluating the design, architecture, and implementation of your workloads to reduce their energy consumption and improve their efficiency. The pillar is designed as a tool to track your progress toward policies and best practices that support a more sustainable future, not just a simple checklist. The shared responsibility model also applies to sustainability. We like to say that AWS is responsible for the sustainability of the cloud, while AWS customers are responsible for what happens within the cloud environment. So to support your efforts in meeting your carbon reduction goals, AWS announced that they will provide you with the carbon footprint of your AWS services consumption. A forecast will also be included that shows how AWS sustainability investments will lower the carbon intensity of your workloads as AWS progresses toward net zero carbon. There is much more to come here, and let's stay tuned for AWS Customer Carbon Footprint Tool to be available early this year. That's all I have for you today, Tony. Thanks again, everyone, for lending me your ears and eyes, and I can't wait to see the amazing things the AWS ecosystem will achieve this year with these incredible advancements. Take care and see you later.
All right, well, that's a wrap on our 2021 reInvent recap. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Big shout out to Tony from our team for putting it all together, and Max, Sophie, and Cleo from the UneeQ team for helping us deliver it to you guys in a really cool way. Make sure you check out everything that happened at reInvent on the AWS website, and have a play around on UneeQ's website. Build your own digital human that you can actually interact with and ask questions. We didn't give you guys the opportunity today, but you can certainly do that on their website. So make sure you check out digitalhumans.com.